Hi everyone, this is the Focus Spender, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 smart things you can do with your stimulus check and also how to manage your cash flow during these crazy times. But first, if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. My channel is all about getting out of debt, staying out of debt, organizing your finances, and increasing your net worth. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find me at Focus Spender on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now let's get started. This week, the first round of people who are eligible to receive their stimulus check received it via direct deposit. I know for many of you, this comes as a huge sigh of relief. And for others, if you have not experienced any loss of income, this might actually feel like free money. Depending on where you fall on that spectrum, I want to share with you 5 things you can do with that money. Now, if you have not received the money and you are wondering where it is, or if you're even eligible to receive it, I suggest you go on the irs.gov website to track your payment. Also, one thing I've heard is that banks have been recouping that money from people who have overdrawn bank accounts. So definitely check out that site to see what could be happening with your money. Now let's get into my list. The first thing I would say is to pay back any urgent bills that you have open. Maybe you owe your landlord rent, maybe you need to pay your cell phone, maybe you just owe someone because you were in a pinch and needed to borrow some money. But whatever it is, I would say get current on those bills now, especially if the people that you owe money to are not in the position to negotiate with you. The second thing I would say is to build up your emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund right now, this is the time to start one. If you have a partially funded emergency fund, this is the time to add money to it. And if you have a fully funded emergency fund, what you considered fully funded before, but you feel like you need to save a little bit more money, go ahead and save that money. There's nothing normal about the times we are living in. No one could have told us that we would be 5 weeks in to a quarantine session where we can't do anything. We can't get our hair done. We can't, go to the beach. We can't, in some places, can't even go to the park. So nothing about right now is normal. So if you previously thought that if you lost your job, it would only take you 3 months to get a new one, we don't know if that's true anymore. With, at least 16 million people on unemployment, times are very, very different. So it's more important than ever to have some money set aside for an emergency. The third thing I would say is to settle any lingering debts that you might have. Maybe you owed, your credit card company $3,000 and bill collectors have been calling you nonstop from before and have offered you a settlement. Maybe, that $3,000 they're willing to settle for $1,000, whatever it is. You might want to use this money to settle up any old debts, and that will help you increase your credit score and just get these bill collectors off of your back. The fourth thing I would say is to invest the money. Maybe you did not finish funding your 2019 IRA. Maybe you never started an IRA for 2020. This is the perfect time. Now that the tax filing deadline has been extended to July 15th, 2020, you can now fund your 2019 IRA through that point. So if you still need to finish funding your IRA from last year, you can go ahead and do so. And besides funding an IRA, you can fund your child's 529 plan or start one. You can also open a taxable account and purchase ETFs. You can start it with Betterment, M1 Finance, Robinhood, Acorn, Stash. There are tons of different apps out there that will allow you to invest for low cost. The one thing I would caution you is that if you do plan on investing your money, one, I would hope that you have settled your debt and you have money saved for an emergency. But also, I would advise you not to sink your money into one company or to one industry. So we don't know who's going to survive this pandemic. We don't know which companies are going to make it. So you want to make sure you're spreading your risk over various companies and various industries. I would not take all that money and invest it in United Airlines just because the price is low. So make sure you're spreading that risk over various industries. Now, the last thing I would say is that you should save your money for a vacation. Right now, we are all super stressed. Whether you are a mom and dad couple and you're both working from home, and your kids are like driving you crazy, whether you are a single parent and your child is driving you crazy, whether you are single and you're living alone and you feel very lonely, you're stressed out, or you might be an essential worker who has to go to work every day to help keep the economy going. Whatever it is, I know you're stressed. I know you are stressed. And so you might want to save this money so that when the world opens back up and you feel comfortable again getting on planes or just staying in a hotel or going on vacation, you have that money already set aside for that vacation. Now, notice I did not say to take your money and send it to your student loan provider. And the only reason why I have not explicitly suggested that is that many student loan providers are allowing people to go on interest-free forbearance for the next several months. And if you're in that position where you don't have to pay your student loans, you're not going to be incurring any interest, and it's not going to affect your loan forgiveness program, you might want to consider holding on to that excess cash and saving it. I would suggest, however, you call your student loan provider, and not to say, well, Focus Spender said I didn't have to pay my student loans. I did not say that. I'm telling you to call your provider and figure out what your options are and determine what is best for you. Now that leads me into talking about cash flow. Like I said, right now it's just crazy. If you are experiencing any loss of income, or maybe you're fine but your spouse or your significant other is experiencing that loss, you really need to really manage your cash flow. So if that is your position, there's 3 things that I want you to do. 1, I would say reevaluate your overall expenses and figure out what are your non-negotiable expenses. And so whatever those non-negotiable things are, where nothing you can do, you cannot stop making payments on that, those are the things you are going to focus your money on. And anything else that is negotiable, try and figure out either lower cost options or just taking it out of your budget altogether. The second thing I would say is to speak to the various companies you have accounts with to see where that negotiation point is. Are they willing to accept late payments? Are they willing to give you a discount? What are they willing to do to help you manage your cash flow? And the third thing I would say is to monitor and plan out your payments in advance. So I have a spreadsheet on my site. It's a 3-month cash flow and budget, and it allows you to figure out what your budget is for the next 3 months and then plan out your cash flow. So you're going to input your income and you're going to input your expenses, and then you're going to play with it to see where you need to be making those payments or where you need to be holding back on payments because your income is going to be low or your bank balance is going to be low. Now, if you want to check out that spreadsheet, you can check out my description box below. I have a link to where you can get that spreadsheet, and I also have a link to the video, which I'll also pop up at the top, but I'll also leave it in the bottom as well, so that you can look at the video, see what the spreadsheet looks like, see if you want to try it out, and also give you a little bit of a tutorial on how to use it. I hope you found this video helpful. Every single night I'm praying for everyone out there, people in my family who are sick, who've been in the hospital, people I know that are going to work, people I know that have lost people in their family. I'm just praying for everyone, and I pray that we all just get out of this situation not as damaged as we probably are going to be. So anyways, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with your friends, click like, leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.